Hello, how you doing, Zacharias? How you doing, Zacharias? How you doing? After we talking about Winnie Davis and the Porsche coming back, Winnie Davis running for governor and Porsche Porsche coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. I want to talk about something different. We're gonna elaborate again about the Zendaya Coleman playing Aaliyah. I am for her playing Aaliyah. I'm not against her. Y'all need to stop thinking that anybody got a drop of black blood and it's been years of mixing. It's not race mixing. They're not mixed. That's not true. We are mixed. If you go on the Wikipedia on the below, two races or more of ancestry. In your ancestry, it's racially mixed race person. Is a racially rich person also multiracial American. Thank you. Thank God for Wikipedia information now. Okay. Aaliyah was part Anita tribe, the American tribe. One of her grandparents was part of Anita tribe. There was a woman on, here we go, Lovey T. But we're not gonna talk about Lovey T. Somebody had Afro Babe. Afro Babe gonna talk about that. I was confused about race and color, skin color. Last time I checked, and I didn't want to elaborate on Lovey T. I had no beef with her. Last time I checked, Africans that was on the ship was actually dark brown to actually black, like dark, jet black skin. They came on the ship. That's why they were considered our ancestors that we end up being called black, because we descended from them due to the one drop rule. There were no light skinned black term until the one drop rule had occurred. After race mixing was going on during slavery, when they decided even during the Indian tribe mixing with Africans, but also in the main reason the Wonder Rule was created because white slave owners who made that rule in order to have more slaves. But I don't love the one drop rule. I hate it, and I think it's abolished. Okay, because that one drop rule was used for if you had any drop of African DNA, African ancestry. No matter what you look, a white person, it don't matter. Look, well, they used the word Hispanic back then, but if you look exotic Hispanic person, whatever, they will put you on a plantation. That's why free people of color had to carry a license, carry a record. They was free because they were about to take that person in the South to slavery in a plantation to be a slave. Because one drop rule means you a slave. That's why racial rape was going on, because they considered the black women and the partial black women as a property, not as human beings. The 3/5 of men was on the Constitution before they changed it after slavery was abolished, and then we were considered to be Americans. So that's the whole reason why that they had those ideology. They also used eugenics idea as well. So that's the whole reason why they wanted to do that, was to make slaves out of us, not to teach us how to be black. To them, being black was, since you had African DNA, you stay in an oppressed state and be happy like Mammy. Exactly like Uncle Tom. Be happy and smile on the face and try to be the Stephen Fletcher type person who loved to be submissive and passive to white people. Okay? So that's what they was trying to do. They didn't want you to even bring up that you was part white, even if your dad was white, because you was a slave by having African ancestry. That's why they kept on mixing and mixing and mixing. Even though like I said, they had consensual relationships with slave women as well. There was mainly premarital sex and also extramarital sex, because the usual master was married. Okay, like Thomas Jefferson, his slave who he had sex with was a teenager. Sarah Hemmings, she was part white because her dad was the same, had a daughter who's married to Thomas Jefferson, a white woman, her sister. Okay, so that's how deep it goes. Okay, so Thomas Jefferson was sleeping with his wife half sister, which makes her his sister-in-law. Okay, so I want to get that straight right there. That one drop rule was not for black pride. The black national rule was trying to be safe Negro type of ideology. Was stay black means stay in your place that master put you in. I mean, the ideology. They didn't want you to be free. They want you to be in a rich society, get more resources than was given to you as being oppressed. That's why I don't fit for their ideology. I go by my way. And I want for my freedom. Martin King was for freedom, not to be enslaved or oppressed. Malcolm X, when he was with Nation Islam, was. Okay? He learned that before he got killed how bad their ideology was. So I'm not with the Black National Movement. Anyway, point is, Aaliyah is mixed race, okay? So I want to get straight out that the light-skinned black terminology in different shades, tautology came into place due to race mixing. That's why I'm caramel, I'm not fair-skinned, but I'm not dark-skinned like Wes's black complexion. Okay? So I want to get that straight. And then even with the Indian neighbor, the black and Indian mixing, they were trying to take people, trying to get on Indian countries. That's why in Florida, when it was Spanish Florida, when before the Spaniards gave their Florida property to Andrew Jackson, black Seminole was mixing. Yeah, blacks and Seminoles was mixing, and white people would come before we get. First off, we hear about Nat Turner, slave uprising and all that other stuff, slave rebellion. Excuse me, let's say uprising, the rebellion rising and all that other stuff. There was also black Indian people was fighting. The Seminoles were with them, fighting against white slave owners trying to go to Spanish Florida to steal a slave. Yeah, to take a slave, take a black person or a mixed black person to be a slave. Okay, so one drop rule was trying to make like Queen, Alex Haley's Alex Haley's grandmother, his paternal grandmother, called Jasmine Guy played her mother. She was part Cherokee. Remember when Ozzie Davis, and I want to mention, God rest his wife's soul. She's passed away along with Maya Angelou as well. Ozzie Davis played Queen's grandfather. She was an African slave, and his wife, I didn't mention the picture, but when he was telling Queen, before Halle Berry came into the picture, it was Raven Simone was playing Queen as a little girl. He told her, you're African, your family African. And remember her mother said, I'm not African, I'm Cherokee. My mom was Cherokee, okay? And people say, well, when we say we part of this, part of that, slave mentality. No. She was actually correct. She was correct. She was African and Cherokee. So she's both, okay? One drop rule made to their eyes that she was black because she had the black blood in her, and she would be a slave master's slave. So, point is, it was no rape situation with her because, remember, Queen's father, the slave owner, loved that Queen's mother, but his white wife, Anne Margaret Rowe, hated her. You know what I'm saying? That's why she said, remember she said that this gonna be a mammy now? And she said, I'm not a mammy, I'm a mistress. Remember she was saying that? Remember? Okay. I remember the movie Queen a lot, okay? Not every detail of it, but I remember that when Jasmine Guy was telling Raven Simone as Queen. And she sold her mother out the plantation because she was upset that her husband said was a partial black woman, okay? Black Indian woman, okay? So, Native American woman. So, the point is, I want to make sure to get it clear that not every mixing came from race. They also read skin color politics. Skin color politics among African Americans, color complex, okay? It also talk about indigent service, white indigent service. One of Sykes is also descendant of her great grandmother. Someone in her family tree was a white woman who said with a slave. She got beaten when they made the anti-mixing laws. Well, before they did allow whites who were poor indigent servants to intermarry with slaves. They also sharecroppers together. They couldn't mix with masters' kids. You know what I'm saying? The black man better not intermarry one of his daughters, but the indigent white servant that was treated like slaves, they can intermarry. Yes, they had white people that white women married to black men in Virginia, mainly Virginia, as I read in that book. So I want to get, remember being historic about Aaliyah, not to go off of the subject of Aaliyah. You got her whole big picture. So going back to Aaliyah, she was racially mixed. One of her grandparents was in the American tribe, and her grandmother. Okay, the book, Remember Aaliyah. I'll put on my link on one. According to Wikipedia, it's the page 1, okay, of that book, and it mentions her background. They also mention one of the noticeable Anitas, and It mentioned Aaliyah, black Native American noble people. In Wikipedia, it mentioned Aaliyah and many other Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jackson. They mentioned Red Fox. It goes on and on. Of those of you think that you thought they was all black, even though they came different colors by classification, they not okay. And then we'll go about that too. One drop rule has been considered unconstitutional since 1967. Okay, I ain't drinking my caffeine to kind of concentrate what I'm saying. Okay, let me let you know the reason why, y'all. Okay, one drop rule is no longer a law. Stop quoting it. If anybody in your city get them in trouble by Supreme Court, they're violating your law, your rights. They're violating law. Okay, one drop rule was considered unconstitutional because when they had made the law to ban, when they abolished the anti-mixing law between whites and classified blacks, should I say, in 1967 over the 11 versus Virginia trial, and 11 Virginia won, and they actually allow all of us to intermarry. If I want to marry a white woman, I can without any problem, legal problem, should I say, maybe a social problem, legal problem. Okay, because those laws was trying to stop people of mixed race, African American and pure African American ancestry, to try to intermarry in the white population. That's why they had the anti-discrimination laws. They had discrimination laws, in Jim Crow, because they was trying to stop us from integrating. They thought that by us socializing, if I socialize with in the white population, even though I am mixed with Caucasian, but I don't look Caucasian, even if I did or not, by me having African ancestry, I'm automatically going to end up trying to marry a white girl, okay, a white woman. So that's the whole reason why they had those laws. It was to protect their purity. So I wish folks understand, people in the African American community are not pure black. We are partial black, okay? Two races in your ancestry does not make you pure. Okay, you say, well, two races in your ancestry don't make you mixed. Yes, it does. Why every time your babies come out different shades? They was not on the ship coming over to the Americans. Okay? Them folks were darker than me. Okay? So, our people, our ancestors, right? So, point is, I want folks to understand that. That's why we don't look alike. And I don't understand how the world, like, for example, someone thought they put a picture of O.J. Simpson about Tracy Morgan. And Tracy Morgan's a little dark, a couple of shades darker than O.J. Simpson. And like, my nose is wide. O.J. Simpson's nose is not that wide as mine. Okay? And he also mixed race as well. And now 10 is Tracy Morgan. So, y'all, it's kind of stupid. It's just stupid. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I saw a group about Portia. Another Portia, Williams was on the Dish Network. They was trying to have DJ scene Lupita Nyong'o, who looks like look like what's his name? Flavor Flav. Now that was wrong. Lupita looked way better and very beautiful than Flavor Flav. Flavor Flav don't look good at all. I don't care if he was light skinned. He don't look good. Sorry, Flavor. They want your money at their shows, okay? Why would they say that about Lupita? That's a beautiful sister. A real dark, real true African sister. And she's part Mexican. And she's not Mexican as in race. Mexican not really racist, but when we talking about people racially mixed, supposed in Mexico. But she's a Mexican national because she was born in Mexico. So she's Afro-Mexican. But point is, her background is pure African. So I wish she's from Kenya. So I wish folks gotta stop. That's true black beauty. And it's going back to Aaliyah. Aaliyah does not look like a Lupita Nyong'o, okay? Hello. Anyway, so she racially mixed. And I'm not saying those who dark skinned who have mixed backgrounds too. Tyson Bedford is one of my role models and happen to be friends with Zachary Davion. Oh Lord. He's one of my role models, and he's part Asian, part Panamanian, and also Jamaican. So that lets you know he's racially mixed as well. Zachary Davion and Tyson Bedford are Blasian brothers. Yes, that's why. Because Zachary Davion is part black and Asian, the black part of his Creole background. So anyway, the point is, I don't like to bring it that, the point is, I remember, and so it's Blasian as well, Foxy Brown, the rapper. So it's Naomi Campbell, and a lot of the people who are dark skinned. They proven his DNA that what's his name? Chris Rock is part white, doing his DNA as well. I do believe they need to do the DNA tests again, because DNA tests don't always show everything in your background. I'm gonna mention a video about DNA hoax, because it's already been 2 videos about that, and I'm one folks say, well, you don't know the American. Excuse me, they don't always bring up everything your roots. You gotta do a it just tell you a small portion of your roots. Yes, it does. Because remember, your DNA gets recycled every doggone generation. It does. So when you take a DNA test, it don't always show up. Does not mean you don't have it in your roots. You know what I'm saying? So people gotta understand that. You go to different DNA companies, they give you all different results. Point is, going back to Aaliyah. So Zendaya, who's mixed race herself as well, can play this role. Aaliyah color is almost close to her complexion. They're not too much different. Let me explain to you folks. Y'all acting like she looks like Lupita, like she look like Lupita Nyong'o. Talking about Aaliyah. She don't. She lighter than her. And her complexion is close to Zendaya. It ain't like Whoopi Goldberg and Sarah Cruz. When Whoopi Goldberg trying to play Sarah Cruz now. And I'm against that, and I'm also against that. Yes, I'm against that. There's two different, exactly. What's the name trying to play Nia Simone, who's also black and Irish. I read on actingcelebs.com. She's dark skinned, and a lighter skinned Afro Latina who's mixed herself. Both sides, her Puerto Rican and Dominican side. What's the girl name? Zoe Saldana, trying to play Nia Simone. Nah, that was wrong. But Zendaya and Aaliyah, no, it's not. They don't look alike. Jennifer Lopez is lighter. Was light. You can tell she lighter. Well, Jennifer Lopez getting tans. That's not her natural color. Yeah, it's her darker, a little shade. Yeah, she with darker makeup. She get tan like Mariah Carey do too. Point is, Jennifer Lopez is lighter than Selena, and Selena had a little natural tan. It was a darker olive complexion. So both of them olive, but she a little dark. Oh, dog, Jesus. She a little darker than Jennifer Lopez, and she was alive. And you talk about it. That's what I'm saying. I was telling somebody on YouTube that this Zendaya Aaliyah movie scandal and chaos is no different than Jennifer Lopez playing Selena scandal, because people in Chicano community, the Mexican American United States born, who had their parents, and then I'm talking about those parents who are first generation Mexican American. I'm talking about second and third, and those who be like what's her name? Who's an Afro Mexican, who's partially Afro Mexican, doing her DNA test. She's from Texas. Forgot her name. Evan Longoria. And Jordan Lopez as well, who's also Afro Mexican, Afro Mestizo as well, and she is too. They're also Chicanos, because she's like seventh generation Mexican American. Talking about Evan Longoria and Eva Longoria, but in Spanish, Evan Longoria. Point is, I'm talking about those folks. Those who Chicanos who had like a black nationalist version of Chicano nationalism in Southern California and also parts of the Southwest, don't want nobody who's not Mexican to play Selena. And talking about, okay, and Jennifer Lopez not mestiza. Yes, she is. And I'm not too far. She's Afro mestiza, just like. And I'm sorry to say this. No offense to Kennedy family. Her lips, talking about Jennifer Lopez, Selena's lips, because Jennifer Lopez has thin lips. Those are very Afro-centric lips. I'm sorry to say this. Like, my lips are big, and my nose is wide. Okay. And the head, they say I have an American head. Point is, and Leah does too. By the way, Leah was mixed with Native American. Selena has that head like that. That's why Jennifer Lopez was round face. Right. Point is, Selena, and when we shot, had some African DNA. I'm just about to continue to do. Same thing. Go back to color and Selena's situation. The movie, they had to get a Mexican American actress to play also Her name was Jackie. This movie Jackie Guerra lost weight. She's friends with Tyra Banks. She was always on Tyra Banks' show. On Tyra's show, remember? Jackie Guerra, she lost a lot of weight. Well, she was big, no offense, 10, 20 years ago. And she had a show back in the day. It used to come on the WB channel, Warner Bros. Channel, which is the CW now, right? Okay, today it is. It's Channel 39. Used to bring up her show, our first time out, our first night out. I used to call it back in the day. And Jackie Guerra was big. And I'm not making fun of her weight. But since Selena's sister, Suzette, was big, they picked her to play her. But the problem was they had to make her get a tan because Selena's sister is darker than Jackie Guerra. So, I mean, I'm going back, I'm bringing this up. But point is, the Chicano nationalists didn't want Selena, they didn't want Jennifer Lopez, who's Puerto Rican, to play her because she's not the same racial background. Well, actually she is, because them big lips are not. I know what an Indian looks like, baby. I'm part Native American. Native Americans don't have big lips. African does. Europeans don't either. Let some doggone Spaniard from the Moors that used to, the African Moors that came to Spain before, they dominated Spain before they got kicked out, and they mixed with those who were European. I'm letting y'all know that their background is not that too much different. They both have Spaniard roots. The Tainos did not all die out. Men and women were either raped, had premarital sex, or did get married to Spaniards when they was killing the men mostly. And also, the Puerto Ricans do have Taino and Arawak background besides African as well. So, and also there was a lot of African slaves in Mexico. Not being Afrocentric, you know how I found out about the African mixing? It was not from Afrocentric, it was from people who Chicano who brought it up back 1993. Is it not Robert Rodriguez? It's Richard Rodriguez and Patricia Gonzalez. They're writers. They're married. They're writers. He's writing in the Houston Post and Houston Chronicle about Chicano and racial. I used to raise all that when I was a teenager back in the 90s. And when they brought up, I think it was Richard Rodriguez or Robert, whoever his name is, I'm going to find out, not the director and not the other editor on who's actually, no offense, who's gay, not him. This is a straight man who's Chicano, who's from the Southwest. Actually, think they live in El Paso or either in Arizona, and the wife, Patricia Gonzalez, who's Chicano as well, but she's also part Tigua, and that's the Native American tribe in El Paso, Texas. I've been on a reservation when I was in El Paso, Texas. I would tell them, I'm your cousins. I'm not Tigua, but I'm Native American. But part Native American. But point is, due to his article about the Black Seminoles, he brought up the African mixture in the Houston Post Chronicle back in June of '93. That's how I know about the Afro Mestizo mixture, the all secret, the secretos oscuro that folks don't want to know about. Okay, so that's how I found out. It wasn't from no Afrocentrics. In the multiracial movement, like Interracial Voice and multiracial.com, the multiracial activists, they brought up a lot about why Latinos were not classified as black due to one drop rule, and they classified as white. We found later on through research that the Treaty of Guadalupe, they allowed that when the United States took over parts besides Texas, stealing it due to slavery. You know, there was an album about slavery. Joe Oliveira, who's a writer too, talks about this. I know about this. I read about Chicano stuff. They talk about this stuff. Didn't get no adversaries. Point is, when they took away from, when the United States took the rest of the Southwest, made it part of their own, like New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, and California. When they had the Mexican-American War and they lost, Mexico had lost, they signed a treaty of Guadalupe. The treaty of Guadalupe, the treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, was about trying to make them citizens. Those who remember the movie Mi Familia, was Jennifer Lopez playing that movie about the Mexican American family? Okay, remember when she was trying to come back to, when she played Maria, the younger version. And I'm not making this up. She was swimming in the movie. Jennifer Lopez is playing this character, playing a Mexican American woman, trying to go back to the United States, to California, because they sent her back to Mexico. Because they were trying to kick all the Mexicans out of California. Well, she had the baby with her. Remember, she had the baby with her. She was swimming on the river to come to the United States. Jennifer Lopez, Puerto Rican, played that role. Okay, well, instead of them doing that, they classified them as American citizens. All the classified them, they had to classify them as white. So that's why Latinos, not only Mexicans, but other Latinos will classify as white due to the fact of that situation happening. In Mexico is part of Latin America, so that's why. Anyway, so that's why. So, but we always talk about those issues. I also was on Interracial Voice a lot. Not as a kind of did make a poem on there. I ain't monoracial. It means I'm not pure race. Right. I made a poem back when I was a teenager, back in the 90s. And also I used to talk to Charles Michael Bird and James Lanthriff, that's his name, who's the owner of, he's mixed race himself. You see him as a white man, but he's part Native American in his background. He's multi-generational mix like I am. And he does not do the blood quadrant mess either. He's against that. His children are partially black. His wife, his marriage, she's a sister. And Charles Michael Bird is also a mixed race as well. His father, who he did not know, is white. Or what? Maybe was. We don't know he's alive. He was trained, but his mother was black and American, Cherokee. And you can see, you might think he's Hispanic or a dark Italian white guy. You know what I'm saying? But he's all three races, same backgrounds I have. So I talk to them a lot on the internet. I also talk to them on the phone. So that's how I've been a proactive member of the multiracial movement. And I was bringing the issues I was facing in Houston to them so they can get some information in Houston and try to bring their message here in Houston, in the United States. Here in Houston, because it's like a foreign country when it comes to this situation. Here in Texas, because Texas is always trying to not talk about these issues. But point is, going back to Selena, I'm sorry, big lips, the way, the curve, she looked like she had some African blood, and her hair was curly on Baby Bom Bom. Remember, I know her hair was wet at the time, okay? And I know anybody with curl pattern their hair, like I have, and I know my hair is more coarser than hers. She had that Mariah Carey curly hair. When you straight your hair, it's straight. When it's thermally straight, it's not chemically. Like this is chemical. This why it won't straight back, okay? But when it gets water on it, that's why a lot of sisters back in the day did not go to take swimming lessons back in the day. We don't throw water on, and brothers they too who's a hot cone. Throw water, it's gonna curl back up. Okay, so in the humidity, that's why I get relaxed because I don't feel like flattening out my hair every time I get a dark braid. Anyway, yeah, that's why I do that. Anyway, point is, that's how I know. And her lips are big. I have big lips. That's from my African blood. It's not from the Native American blood. It's not from the white blood in my background. Okay? So that's how I know. Okay? So it's not about being Afrocentric. It wasn't for those Chicanos who wrote a lot. So they weren't Chicano nationalists. They had 9 10. They probably didn't have no problem Jennifer Lopez playing a role. But the Chicano nationalists, they see themselves in mestizo. Now they got to move and say I'm not Hispanic and not Latino. They're Mexican. And they say they're Native American. They ditch this. Why can't Spanish blood? It's you celebrating rape. No. It's called celebrate what's in your roots. And not everything happened by rape. Okay? I'm getting very tired. Y'all always bringing it up, trying to make someone feel guilty. And if it did, I guess if a black black man or a Native American man had raped a white woman, should you tell the white child, even they don't look like the white woman, or if they did look like the white woman, if you should tell the child not to claim the black side or the Native American side because that man raped that woman? Come on now, stop being so stupid. It's not the race that caused the problem. It was the action of the person. The person was being evil, not the race. So that's what's going on. They try to act like the Malcolm X version of the black nationalist version of their dog stuff. So they didn't want Jennifer Lopez to play the role. Okay, I mean big story, but I can tell you the truth. So you know, because I dig all this, and I would debate people within the African American the descent community was telling me no, she shouldn't play a role because she's not Mexican. Excuse me, Mexican and Puerto Ricans are both Hispanic. Their mixtures are not that different. And there was more Africans, and going back, there were more African slaves in Mexico when it came to Spain. There were more Native American tribes, of course. But when the Spaniards brought the slaves to Mexico, the white folks from Spain, they had more African slaves than them. Yes. So and they all run out to Peru and Panama and Belize, all that. That's a doggone lie. Men them remember there was no one drop rule, and there was no interracial against laws. Maybe the black man couldn't, the African Mexican man couldn't marry a white woman, but if they did, they probably somehow made it okay. But mostly the Spanish men mixed with the Indian women and black women, okay, in Mexico, and they intermarried too as well. There wasn't always race. There was interracial marriage as well. Mestizos also married within blacks. Mulattoes and mestizos married each other. Okay, you had the black men in the Encyclopedia of Mexico also mentioned about African Mexicans that a lot of black men marry Indian men and women. That's why the whole it's the Indian had the big lips. That's why. You know, doggone no Indian troop tried to handle. I know what a Native American look like. I'm part Native American. No big lips. Because my family will bring up, speaking, there we go. You have the African lips, Zach. And my grandma will say that because her lips are thin like her great grandmother, who's part white and part black. But her great grandmother's husband, which is her great grandfather on her dad's side, her dad's paternal grandparents was a full-blown Native American. My grandma has high cheekbones. Her lips, her nose is wide, but it's not too wide like mine. It's more thinner, just like my dad's. Okay, and the difference is I'm more lighter than compared to my dad and my grandmother. Okay, and my grandmother is not dark skinned. Neither my father. Well, he says the sunlight, he'll be dark skinned, but he's like the Denzel Washington complexion, because Denzel Washington a couple shades light darker than me, and that's how I know my roots. Okay, so I knew growing up as a child, and I have a picture of me, an American man on my picture, and I knew how the lips look, I knew how their nose looked, because I knew when I see Mexicans with the same features that's how I knew as well. And one time in school with them Latino people who are Mexican, and they're not Puerto Rican, they claim to be full Mexican, they have big lips and wide nose, and I say, wait a minute, what the heck is this? I said, they're exotic features. Curly hair. No Indians have curly hair. Oh, Spaniards. But I'm talking about the curly hair was so juicy. I mean, it looks like worse than, no offense, not worse, but well, of course, than Mariah Carey hair. Not kinky like an afro, but it has a loose curl. You know what I'm saying? And plus, I'm mixed with Creole as well. That's on my grandpa's side, my dad's side, and my grandmother on my mom's side as well, because she has Creole. Both her dark-skinned grandmother, her dark-skinned mother, who's dark-skinned, they call them Geechees, who are dark-skinned Creoles. Their family was from central Louisiana, Alexandria. My great-grandfather, who's my color now, who's still living, he's my color. He used to be lighter back in the day because they call him red. And his grandmother was Native American on his mom's side, and his grandfather on his dad's side like a white man. Yes, because they even have his father mulatto on the 20,000 on the 2000. I get the twos messed up. 1920 census in Graham's County. Yeah, yes I know. And they also have mulatto on my grandmother paternal grandparents. No, not paternal grandfather. Yeah, paternal grandfather, his parents, and him, because they was all staying in the house. My grandma was born in the mid-30s, but we're talking about her family on that side of her dad's paternal grandparents. They have them living in Houston, on Harris County, since 1920. They have them as mulatto, even though, they now all that part black, part white, also got an Native American mixture. So, point is, that's how I know my roots. So, don't try a fool that trick on me. But going back, they both 19, but Selena and also J-Lo are Afro-mestizos, okay? So, point is, when I mean Afro-mestizos, I mean black, Spanish, and Native American mixture. That's what I'm talking about, African, Spanish, Native American mixture. So, she fit the role. She had the big butt, just like J-Lo had. She surgery, y'all, because when she was doing dances, this is all her critics. When she was taking dance lessons in New York, I remember her dad was having problems with that, and she fled to L.A. The white girls, that was her friends, and they was talking about, she always look in the mirror and say, I got a big butt. So J-Lo have a natural butt, so did Selena did. They were no. I remember a Mexican guy told me when Selena was alive back in '94. I was in 8th grade, and it was going on, I was going to my 9th grade year. 20 years ago, by the way. And so Selena was performing in a club, and some man, it was his brother or his friend brother, something like that, hit her side, hit his, and they had to make him get off, and he felt that she had padded butt That's not true. She had a natural break behind. That's all I gotta say. She had a natural curve. It was not fake. Y'all stop. And then too, someone told me, well, first Selena lips were big when she was a little girl. It was not no lip injection. Oh, these folks love to find some doubting for their ignorance. So the point is, about Aaliyah and Zendaya, same thing, situation about her being Puerto Rican, about Jennifer Lopez, and the Chicano Nationals say they only mix with Spanish and white. We not only do their testing, we do a lot of research, because remember, a lot of those records of those who were partially black in Mexico got lost due to the castas. The castas were the caste system the Spaniards had. Different colors, not different colors, different mixtures. They had the Spaniards were born in Mexico, born in Spain on top, and those Creoles, because Creoles, just like French Creoles were considered, because they thought it was native to Louisiana and the New World, the Spaniards and the French, so they considered themselves Creoles. But Creoles in Mexico means white Spaniards born in Mexico. So, pure ones. The mixing came in mestizo, mulatto, lobo, albino. They had all Zamba. They had all these different mixed names because they caste system. They had them in the middle, and then they had the Africans and the indigenous in the bottom, because they wanted them to make. They wanted them to be in the bottom because there had no mixture of white in them. So anybody who kept having more white blood in them as they intermarry and stuff, they got more civil rights, even though they wasn't free. Get my point? Okay. So when Mexico fought against Spain, and it's when Benito Juarez was president, before Vicente Guerrero, who was partially black and partially African and American. That's Vicente Guerrero, who's second president of Mexico, who banned slavery. That's why Mexico had a problem in Texas. They had the Alamo because of this issue of slavery. They got rid of the caste system. It was good, but remember, the caste system also had records who also were partially black in Mexico. Meaning those folks who claim to be Spaniard and they American don't know they're partially black because those records got lost. Okay? So that's the whole reason why in Mexico, when it became the national emblem to be a mestizo Spanish Indian mixture back in the early 1900s, the reason that came in was Jose Vasconcelos. He was, they say he was white, but I don't know. But he was mixed himself, claimed to be white. I don't know. He was like Trujillo, Rafa Trujillo in the Dominican Republic. Remember, Rafa Trujillo was mulatto, and also he had partial Haitian background, besides Dominican's mulatto background, and probably Afro-Mestizo too, because not all the natives in the Caribbean got ripped off. Remember, many in the mix. So when they declared that there was no pure people of Native American descent, that meant there was no pure natives. Many of them were mixing and assimilating to the mulatto culture, the Spanish and African culture in the Caribbean. But many of their cultural elements had been brainwashed, had been washed away as being Afro-Hispanic or mulatto, more than just the culture of all three, both Native American, Spanish, and African. So Rafa could have been Native American as well, as well, but he was mulatto. He claimed to be white. He put white on his skin, and also powder in his face. He was olive skin like Drake, like Aaliyah and Zendaya's color. But when he make himself whiter, he'll put a bunch of powder on his face and put white, not mix, put white on his identity. So he was trying to get rid of the Coco Haitians and the Haitians who. Meaning those who are pure African descent, they kept coming to the Dominican Republic. Remember, it was all one country, one period of time. So, anyway, going back to he was trying to get rid of and trying to make it more whiter. So remember, a flux of European immigrants were coming to Latin America. It was called the whitening Latin America. Remember, the idea of mejor la raza was to marry a European so they can better the race. So the cosmic race, La Raza Cosmica idea comes in, and it will tell you in the Encyclopedia of Mexico when it talks about Mexico, Afro-Mexicans. It will tell you why the national emblem mestizo came in, because he said we construct this race mix. That's why you also, like, they did research on Lena Chavez and Adrian, I forgot his name, and also Michelle Rodriguez. The other two are Mexican. Michelle Rodriguez, the Puerto Rican Dominican. Remember, they found relatives intermarrying inside their family to keep that color. That was going on as well in Mexico. That's why Lena Chavez and the other guy that was on that show with Dr. Gates, with Henry Gates on there, was to show that they was also cousin in the marriage in order just to keep that color in their family. Some of our Creole people did the same thing too. Some of the folks, some of the family, even those in the African American community and the Creole community as well, try to marry inside their family. Although it's very extremely frowned upon. But remember, people would not let people know they were related if they went to other towns, because they want to keep the color. Because if they did marry someone that was light skinned, they were very lighter skin, whatever, keep the color, they can have a dark skinned child, whatever genetics they have. Remember, it's not matching with theirs. So a darker skin, or not dark skin, but someone darker than them, or maybe a dark skinned child. So then when the flux came in, a bunch of these white Europeans coming to Latin America, not only from Mexico, but all parts of Latin America, not only from Spain, but all the parts of France, Italy, and all these other European countries. They intermarried. They married these people, and the idea was to mixing between white and native mixing. But remember, these people are racially mixed, including with black. And while a lot of dark skin, and people say same thing in our community, which we're racially mixed people as well, that people marry someone light to get better. Exactly, because remember, having white blood, looking like a white person, looking close to white was going to give you better privilege in society. Same thing in Latin America. His idea was keep on mixing, because it would give rid of the Negro race will go away, and the new mestizo, the Spanish in the mix, so the folks would look less African. That's why people in Mexico don't look African. But you see sometimes in they doggone mix, the big lips, the wide nose, the curly, the juicy curly hair, and all the others, the darker skin tone. Not only, because I always put those who are dark Mexicans, I always put their complexion, those who are friends, I'll put their complexion close to mine, because it's my caramel skin, because in Africa, I'm a little light, not light, not on Jason Kidd color, but light into my African ancestors that came on a ship. Get my point? But to them, I will be considered dark skin, because they're trying to, remember, anybody that looked like a Springer was white. Right. So point is, I put that complexion, and I knew not only we got the Indian roots from coming that color to cause that color, but also the African. So the same thing will happen in the Dominican Republic as well. So the point is, that's why you see Mexico lost they got rid of slavery. They had Afro Mestizo second president, who's the second president of Mexico, Francisco Guerrero, and they had all these other people, and people would try to whitewash them as being mestizo or Spaniard, but you later on find out they are actually partially black and they American. Remember, I'm getting all this information from people who are in the Hispanic, Chicano, and Mexican community, Latino community. This is not, when I got this information first, I got it from them. Didn't get it from anybody else until I found a Dominican name that was on also too, who's not Mexican, who's Dominican, Nelson Javier. Is it William Nelson Javier? William Javier Nelson. He also talked a lot about this in Racial Voice. And that's how I knew that Mexican men do have African background besides Spanish, European, and American, and indigenous. So that's the whole reason why that I talk about this, because it is a hypocrisy. It's so funny, the white people who want to put a bridge right there by Mexico. But remember, during the time, it wasn't even Mexican in the Southwest, yes, but the whole United States country, it wasn't many Latinos. Okay, either you was black or white. The Asians, they denied them. They restricted them. They were trying to get them doing. The World War II. They tried to put that like one drop mess with them. Those who are of Asian background, who are also Japanese American, they was mistreated. Remember, they get reparations for that, and so do the Americans. We don't get reparations for what happened in slavery, and we should. And not to be lazy. Hey, you gonna get reparations for the descendants for having went through that trash? Let's be fair. The point is, I want to mention the history of Mexico and you know, and also too, Puerto Ricans are many of them are mixed with Taino as well. Like they know that they're mixed with Taino because their family tells them that family tree. They're not lying about their family roots. They're not trying to. I mean, they're those just like those in Mexico say they're mestizo, not Afro mestizo. You know, and they try to deny it. But got Puerto Ricans do the same thing. Dominicans and the rest of other Latinos do the same thing too, because they one drop rule influence in the United States, not in their country. Remember, one drop rule is not there. Remember, it usually if you had one drop white blood, even if you would consider white exactly, but it's a reverse here in the United States. Well, no longer, no more. One drop rule went away since 1967. But point is, what's the fear now? We got rid of the rule, civil rights. You know, y'all was classified as white. Okay, but y'all wasn't treated as white. It was socially. They were friends. Cesar Chavez and Martin King. And he was trying to organize a movement together before Martin King got killed. So, the point is, what's the rule of denying the rules? The point is, going back to Zendaya, the same situation is going on with Zendaya. We're having the Selena and Jennifer Lopez situation. Same thing going on with Zendaya. I don't see nothing wrong with Zendaya playing Aaliyah. Aaliyah's partially Native American. She could be part white besides Native American as well. Remember our people was owned by white folks. And there was no choice to get away from them. The master was gonna mix anyway. So it's not could be mixed with white as well, but also too, the girl did not look all that black. I'm talking about Aaliyah. Somebody Lupita Nyong'o looks black. That's black. Someone lighter is not. Okay, I'm so sorry. I can get that one drop rule screwed up our identity up and how we think what blackness is. So I'm getting very tired of that nonsense. Let the woman play the role. I didn't mean go down history, but it shows the outlook. They were so stupid that the Chicano National tried to say that Jennifer Lopez shouldn't play Selena. You know that if they did get an actress, remember they did the Selena trials in Chicago, they did here in Houston, in Denver, Harvard. Chicago's is multi-Hispanic as well. Houston's was mostly Mexican, but now since the 90s, it's getting to be multi-Hispanic because we got Colombians, Salvadorans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Guatemalans. We have people from Peru, Colombia. We have all different Hispanic Dominicans. We have all different Hispanics in Houston, here in Houston, and in Texas as well. But they did San Antonio. They did in the Selena trials. They did San Antonio, LA, Chicago, and Miami, which is not to be Mexicans there either. Okay, so they were looking for a Latina, period. And Jennifer Lopez, who had the experience, she was a fly girl. She can sing. She can sing on the movie. Don't get me wrong. She has a lip sync on the music, but she can dance. You know, she did not know who Selena was. She got chosen to play Selena, and I was happy. I didn't know she was not Mexican at all, but I was happy regardless. She was Janet Jackson's backup dancers. She was on Janet Jackson's video. Hello, they need somebody gonna give Selena exposure, because when Selena got killed, that's when the whole world knew who she was. I mean, I knew who she was because I come around a lot of Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? I went to school with a lot of Mexican-American people. And I'm sorry to say this, I love them big lips. I like exotic features. I like exotic looks. It's different from black and white, okay? You know, what's truly black and what's truly white. Exactly. And she had a mixed look. She was beautiful. She had a native look as well. She was beautiful. She had big lips, long hair. That's why I started listening to how this do to her. Okay, I'm being honest with y'all. That's how I started listening, because I saw everything exotic. When I put a picture one time, and I'm going to change subject. I put a picture on. It was La Vida magazine, Vida Houston, not Vida Houston. Come on, channel 13, ABC. They had Viva Houston, Viva Houston in Houston Post, before Houston Post got turned into Houston Chronicle. It was two newspapers back in the 90s and before. Until 95, like after Selena had died, they had finally got rid of the Houston Post had lost their job, and they had to give it to Houston Chronicle. So And remember, it was every Friday they have about Hispanic culture. That's how I learned about Hispanic besides Mexican culture. Okay, remember I reading Viva Houston, and in '94, remember '95 when Houston Post was gone. '94, Selena had just performed at the Houston Last Rodeo Show in '94. Remember she performed in '93, '94, and '95. And remember, if anybody watched the movie, was Jennifer Lopez wore that outfit, white bustier outfit when she was performing, when she was playing Selena going to Monterey. That's the same outfit that Selena wore here in Houston at the Astrodome, which is now Reliant. It's still there. They're trying to get rid of the Astrodome. I don't want to get rid of the Astrodome. I voted against it last year. That's the same outfit that Jennifer Lopez wore in that scene. The same outfit that she wore, same outfit Selena wore in '94. Performing at the Houston Las Royal Show in '95, and '94. I was 14, 20 years ago. I'm 34, going on 35. Going on 14 years old, going on 15. I cut that picture and put it on in my room because I didn't have any posters of Selena. My aunt, who was living with me, with my grandparents at the time, I was living, she said, "Why you have a naked woman?" Because remember, Selena, because her picture color, she's about her being so olive and a little lighter skin. The white boots did kind of look like she was naked. I said, she's not naked. It's a bra. I ain't call it boots. I didn't know it was called bustier until Selena had died. Okay, and I'm a big fan of Madonna. We always call a bra. You know what I'm saying? And then there's a guy back in. Knowing the Birds and Bees, God forgive me. Knowing the Birds and Bees at 9 and late 9 when I turned 10 years old, and Lady Madonna and Janet Jackson back in the day, and she actually right. Jennifer Lopez who playing Selena was actually right, because they were my girls, Janet Jackson, Madonna, and Paula Abdul. I was a big fan of those girls, those ladies. Okay, and they both wore the bustier back in the day. So Selena wore it, and so anyway, the same outfit that she wore, and my aunt thought that there was a naked woman on my it would not be on the Houston Post, baby. Okay, so that was Selena, and so I was a big Selena fan, and if I saw her pictures on Viva Houston, her performing at Cinco de Mayo in Guadalupe Plaza area back in '94, I wanted to go. Somebody had no transportation to go. I love the fact that she was exotically beautiful. The big lips turned me on. And that's in beside, and the saying is, remember, the year before, Robert Rodriguez, not the director, the editor, and Patricia Gonzalez's husband, wrote about the Black Seminoles cross the Rio Grande in '93 in June on Houston Post, and he also mentioned the African mixture in Mexico as well. That's how I knew from a Mexican man. So who wrote this article? So I love those big lips and and the hair. I mean, I thought it was naturally straight until I saw Bitty Bomb Bomb on Rima Latino, and also on the Max on Univision and stuff. Yeah, okay. But the big lips, the body, the big butt. You know what I'm saying? I knew. So I was a man fan of Selena. But point is, that's what got me into listening to her music was through her. And seeing Coleman on the floor and how beautiful it was, and I do that. Anybody can say again, I love women. Okay, I do love women, and she was beautiful. So I wanted to go see her. I did want to go see her in her concert in '95, and I was upset with the United States about killing her. Point is, just like I love Aaliyah. Aaliyah was my age, 79, baby, 79s, babies. I didn't know she was a couple months older than I was, and I was mad at R. Kelly if it's true. No offense to the Halton family. We heard 979 a box, because I listen to house stations. I listen to R&B, hip-hop. Hello, I'm a bro. Yeah. And I listen to 104 as well, the pop station, and they play R&B as well. Mainstream R&B artists. But 979 box play hip-hop R&B. They said this Leah was married to R. Kelly. I was mad. I don't know what the hell. Man gonna marry a 15-year-old girl. No, that's my girl. I love it both, Selena and Aaliyah. So that's how I remember those days. Those nights was the best days. So point is, I wanted everybody to know that I had no problem Jennifer Lopez playing her. I'm not Latino at all. No Latino, no trace of any in my roots, in my multiracial background. Okay, but I had no problem her playing the role because I think that remember, she was Janet Jackson's backup dancer. She was in Flower Girl. She had that big butt. I'm sorry. Okay? She kind of resembled, now, she don't look like her. She kind of resembled her. But when they made her up, she almost looked like her. Okay? Remember Selena parents cried when they did the Lifestyle Rodeo show. Why Gregory now put that doggone scene in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio? I ain't not like that. The actual scene, the Jennifer Lopez playing the actual Dome scene, that was done at the Alamo Dome. Why not bring it in Houston where she was? The actual Dome. That's what it was. It made good scenery, but I didn't like if I wanted to be one of the extras in there. And one of my Spanish teachers, who's Chicana, who's my third year Spanish teacher in high school, told me that Selena's fans, after was a mixture of African Americans, Hispanics, and Anglos. So yeah. So I mean, it was already Hispanic, yeah, Latinos, yes, but it was also African Americans. Maybe there was Afro Latinos as well. I don't know, but it was those who from here, from the United States, and they had some Anglos as well. So it wasn't just Latinos and Mexicans over there at her concert. But I wanted to go to the scene to see Jennifer Lopez portray that role. I wonder why did he bought it over there, Alamo Dome? Why the Alamo Dome? Why not have it in Houston, H-Town, where Selena was doing the scene, the actual act? So, point is, she had the star. Remember, Greg and I did a good job picking picking Jennifer Lopez Selena, because what? She had access to Selena. That's actually thing. She had access to Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson's sister. Hello, somebody when they did all them trials, somebody who's not famous. I mean, for example, I love Precious, Gabrielle Sobobi, whatever her name is, but she wasn't famous, and the only reason she got pregnant because she was big and she was overweight and she couldn't play Precious, and Precious was a fictitious book. I mean, Push by Sapphire. So anyway, I had to get that out of the system, but Jennifer Lopez had a lot more had a lot more experience in the industry, and needed somebody who had the industry experience to make the daughter who they lost to become famous all over the world. If they got somebody from the barrio, and no offense to anybody, who did not have, of course Jennifer Lopez from the barrio from New York, I'm talking about from Southwest, and there are Mexicans in New York City as well. They also got Puerto Ricans here in the Southwest as well, and other Latinos. Not every Latino is Mexican in the Southwest. Hello, but point is, they did pick somebody who had no experience of acting, who was not, Salma Hayek was too sultry. No, I'm sorry, okay, and they don't look like Selena at all either. Point is, if they got somebody, it would not sell. It would not sell. Jennifer Lopez playing Selena sold. Big time. Remember, and Selena movie went all over the globe. It not only be in the Southwest. This movie was in the United States. They had the premiere in New York as well. So I want everybody to understand the reason why. So that's the reason why she got the they made a hit of her her movie, and Jennifer Lopez played her and made her famous playing her. Okay. Remember, Jennifer Lopez never had a big lead role like this. She played in Me Familia, the Money Train with Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. And she was Janet Jackson's. But this was her big time role, and she proved in the Latino Hispanic community, just because she's not Mexican, she's not Mexicana, she can play this role as a Puertorriqueña. Hello, as a Boricua, and she played that role good. So going back to Zendaya, I'm making a doggone almost an hour film of this thing. Let me charge my phone so my phone does not go out of whack. Since Zendaya has an actress role in the movie and playing in this, Zendaya Coleman, she has a big experience, and she can make Aaliyah, even though Aaliyah's family was not aware of this, but I was part of the family, I think they should allow her to play this role. She has a big influence from a mainstream type of influence, like Jennifer Lopez had a mainstream as well, even though she wasn't too much famous until she played Selena. I ain't know who's Zendaya Coleman because I don't watch Disney Channel. I don't have kids. Okay. So point is, I'm glad Zendaya's got the role to play. Zendaya Coleman has the role to play Aaliyah. Aaliyah is mixed just like she is. Aaliyah is very almost a light olive complexion, close to her complexion. Okay, it's not the skin tone. It was not. I mean, y'all just make a bit. Well, she's not black. Okay, first she said that one drop rule makes you whole.